seem a little off center there. Hello and Happy New Year, and welcome to The Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of geeky topics that may have come up over the course of the week. I don't really have many just because it's been a busy week with New Year's. Excuse me. I do have an idea that I want to talk about later. Hopefully I'm not too loud because I sound like I'm super loud in my ears right now. That's probably because my headphone volume was turned up. But how are you guys doing? Welcome to 2019. Welcome to 2019 for The Silver Lining. I hope that last year was kind of a cool year. I mean, this is this is episode 40. I mean, and there's 52 weeks in the year. So we did an episode close to every week, minus we didn't start out at the beginning of the year. So we started a few months into the year, and there were a couple of weeks that we had to either I wasn't feeling well or we just had to kind of stop. I hope you guys can hear me. Yeah, the microphone's there. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah. So I mean, we're at episode 40. That's pretty awesome. That means that we're not going to hit episode 100 this year, but we'll hit episode 50 in a couple of months, which is really kind of cool. Maybe I should do a giveaway for that. I don't think I've ever done a giveaway. I did a giveaway on Twitter once, and never did another giveaway again, which is kind of a bummer because I do like the idea of being able to very literally give back to everybody who watches and follows. And hey, Jeffersonia, what is going on? Welcome to as of right this very second. You are my co-host because my co-host is always normally the chat. So yeah, I only had like a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, but I do want to start with I went to the Goodwill store yesterday and actually got kind of lucky. They had a stack of Genesis games and a couple of Master System games, so I scored. I got a couple of stuff. It's nothing that's gonna break the bank. Dragoon Knight says help. What's going on? Is the stream messed up? Did we do something wrong? Can you not hear me? I meant heyo, spell check. Oh, Captain, my Captain, what's going on, Sean? So yeah, I scored a couple of things at Goodwill yesterday. They're not bad. Like I said, nothing to really write home about. Like, it's not like I can sell any of this stuff for a ton of money or anything. It's just very cool stuff. Somebody actually asked me when I was buying everything if I had a store or something. And I said, no, I just have a collection of games, and I like to collect for the systems. It was a nice offset to the horrible rest of the day that I had, which I will allude to, but I'll be honest with you, it is a little embarrassing, so I won't actually get into the very, very specifics of it. And I am someone who's easily embarrassed, but I usually just do stuff anyway, or I sometimes just do stuff anyway. I actually won't get into it. But I did pick up all these Genesis games. All of these are boxed. A good chunk of them have manuals, and then some of them have manuals and maps and stuff. The only thing is the plastic tabs were ripped off of a lot of the cases, which I don't get too broken up about. I realize I can use my Superboy as my SNES since I can plug it into do they have a TV output? And hey, Dark Luke, Ace Fox, Rocky Bear, what is going on? So my pickups, I got Super Hang On. Okay. Outrun 2019. Monaco GP, which apparently Super Monaco GP, so apparently this guy was a racing fan. These are all super clean boxes too. The boxes are clean, the carts are clean. Super Thunderblade, which I actually already have, but I only have the cartridge, so now I have everything. Mr. Haru, what is going on? Welcome to the. Is this the first time being here? Virtual Pinball. And let me turn this around. I got these 3 games. I did not know that they made games and in these kinds of boxes. Blockout, which is like a cardboard, almost like the SNES style box or NES style box. They're the same size as the Genesis boxes, they're just different. Super Off-Road and the Duel Test Drive 2, these are like lift up boxes. I've never seen these boxes before. Yeah, I saw them and thought, are they Genesis games? Hey, Buckeye Cortex. Oh, first time here at the stream, Mr. Haru. Well, welcome. You get to be a part of it. I always say one thing you'll learn the more you frequent these streams is that I usually start out and half the time I don't really have a bunch of topics. Sometimes I just come in here and I ask everybody what they want to talk about. We always do a viewer topics portion, so I would have questions for you guys. I did have a question. Let me save it because I did have a question for you guys later. Let's see here. I'm gonna write it on here, but we'll talk about it later. Let's see here. I'm calling it Topics of the Year. I want to ask you guys what you thought were some of the most interesting stories of the year. But I got these Master System games too. Sega Casino games and World Grand Prix. This World Grand Prix has the manual. Sega Casino games has the manual and I think a poster. Yeah, there's a poster in here too. But yeah, I got all of those. They're in amazing shape. Yeah, Dr. Gibbs, absolutely. They are in fantastic shape. I almost friggin' I almost questioned whether or not they were even Sega Genesis games. Mr. Haru, I was just saying that half the time we come in here and we don't actually have a bunch of topics lined up. But meaning to ask you a question about a game. Are we doing viewer topics later? Yes, we will do viewer topics later. We're also going to do a viewer question later. Is also what I wanted to do. So for the first topic I wanted to just talk about New Year's. I wanted to ask you guys how your New Year's celebration went, what you guys do for New Year's. If you do anything special or if you're just asleep by 10 o'clock, which is fine if you are. I strongly suspect my older viewers are going to say, I was at home and in bed by 10 o'clock or I was at home on the couch and I refused to leave or something like that. My hair tie broke. But yeah, I wanted to see what you guys were doing and what resolutions you have and what you have done so far. I know it's only been a couple of days, but what you have done so far to start with those resolutions. For myself, I was on the couch by 10:30. I struggled to stay awake. I'll tell you a funny story though. We haven't had cable in a little while, so excuse me. We haven't had cable, so we were at a friend of ours' house. We went over there and we hung out. And we were talking and everything. We sit down on the couch, and it occurs to us that we have no way to watch the New Year's Rockin' Eve. We don't have TV. We couldn't watch it. So we're on the couch going through YouTube and Twitch feeds, trying to find somewhere that is streaming the ball drop. So we ended up finally finding one. It was at New York. But I guess there's some sort of side stages. So this was the side stage that we were watching. So every once in a while, the camera would cut to just a random shot of the crowd and you couldn't really hear anything. Eventually, they showed the ball drop. It turned out that the ball drop was about a minute late. because we're looking at our phones and it's midnight, but the ball is still 30 seconds away. Let me see here. Go back to uneventful is a good word to sum it up. I passed out before 12 because I got bored. I worked, got home, played games, took a shot, and then went to bed. Oh, yeah. I was at my cousin's house. I got to spend time with my family, reminiscing about her dad. We had some friends over too. See, yeah, Dragoon Night, that always sounds really, really fun. It just also sounds really tiring. We don't entertain here. Ate burritos and was out cold by 10:15. I had to work January 1st early morning, so I literally did nothing and go to sleep. Yeah, that's always the biggest curse with New Year's Eve. Not a lot of places take the first very seriously, so a lot of people still have to work that day. It's not a real holiday. My resolution is to eat better, less fast food. Very nice. The struggle of having work shifts. I spent New Year's at my girlfriend's house, and I nearly had an anxiety attack meeting her family. Not the best time to meet the family. It was pretty chill. Celebrated with family. Could have had a drink, but didn't. Oh, that's very good. And I apologize. My nose is during the winter. My nose is perpetually stuffed. It is just constantly stuffy nose. So hang out until spring, and we'll be all right. It was very tiring. I was up until 2:30. Yeah, fun, but also fun, but I was so sleepy. I was just at home, not really doing much. As for resolutions, I just want to do what I couldn't do last year and get some smaller upgrades to my room setup. Like HDMI splitter, switcher, some cable extensions. The PC, of course, which I have fun. We relate to starting today's stream because of PC stuff. Some upgrades to that and some more quality of life things to make it easier. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, Mr. Horror. I'm sorry that you weren't getting an image. I don't know what that was about. Oh, we're just talking about New Year's, what your resolutions are, what if you've done anything to start them. For this year, my plan is to take much better care of myself medically and dentally. So this is the thing that I don't take very good care of my teeth, my mouth, my oral care. I brush every day. I floss once in a while, but I really don't go to the dentist like I'm supposed to. Not at all. Like not even you're supposed to go every 6 months and I go once a year. It's forever that I've gone. I finally went yesterday. I had an appointment scheduled, so I went yesterday, and I am surprised that they don't take my x-rays and use them as like textbook examples somewhere. It's kind of a disaster, and it's a disaster to the point where it is a little depressing and it's almost embarrassing. Like I really don't want to get into what exactly needs to be done just because it does feel that way. Like it is kind of like, and here's the thing, I deserve it. I mean, I deserve it. Like I'm a horrible person, but I know that it's important. I know that I haven't been doing it, so I have to suffer the consequences of what happened. But that's something that I am going to follow up on, because that's one of my goals this year, is to make sure I go get regular checkups, make sure I get my dental stuff checked up. I am going to start walking more just so that I can get back into the process of exercising, the concept of exercising, so then I can, because I don't want to do the go and get the gym membership and burn it hard for the first month and then the rest of the year it's back to normal. I want to get myself into a routine where working out is part of what I do. Also, my resolution is to cut down on my gaming budget so I can save up for TMG and a new laptop. I plan on getting new games this year and only one game a month, but it has to be something I'm either looking forward to or have pre-ordered. Ace Fox, for that, I don't know how much of a collection you have or how much you have on your backlog. It is very easy to avoid the what I call the second tier new games. There are those first tier games. Like if you're a hardcore Smash Brothers player, you were buying Smash Brothers last month. But there are a lot of games that are like, oh, it would be cool to play, but I don't, I need to prioritize. It's very easy to cut all of that stuff out if you look at your backlog and actually make the effort to fight your backlog. Hold on a second. I got something tickling in my nose. My main goal is to not let my mindset get to the point where I feel like I want to die. It's more common than usual. Jeffersonia, I know what you mean. It's you get into that, and it's a depressing topic, but you do get into that mindset of it would be easier if I wasn't here. That's never true. I would like for you to go into my YouTube channel. I'm not promoting my YouTube channel here. Go to my YouTube channel. There, I have a video in the I think it's me talking about stuff or self-help stuff, and it's called We're All Pixels. Whenever people think like that, I like for them to watch that video. That's probably one of the only videos that I really have told people about actively, just because I'm very much of the mindset of if you come across it, you come across it. Which in the vein of self-promotion, I probably shouldn't do that, but I should be more active in promoting what's going on. But that's one of the only videos that I've ever really said like, please go and watch that, because I feel like that's an important video, and I feel like I again, not to toot my own horn, but I do feel like what was said in that video was important for a lot of people to hear. So don't please don't hate me for self-promotion. You suck. No, that's not okay. Be right back. Gotta go help with the groceries. I apologize. I got like a tickle in my nose, and it's like I'm gonna blow my nose on camera. I have the same resolution as Minion. I have a different motivation as to why, though. At least I'm still here. So I'm moving on from that one. So I'm moving on from that one on to a better life. I consider suicide. I'll take a minute now. I'm trying to get better. Yeah, it's definitely watch that video then, because I know that the mindset is you won't be missed, or you're not that important. Like there are a lot of mindsets that follow that sort of thing. Trust me, I know. But there are a lot of mindsets that lead to that sort of thinking. Okay. So the one of the important things is to realize that you are important. There is a void that will be left if you're gone, and that void is proof that you are something. It's sort of along those lines. Been eating really clean and drinking a lot of water. I'm just struggling. I'm struggling to work out, forcing myself next week. See, yeah, Rocky Bear, that's my problem. I didn't want to get to the point where I was forcing myself to work out. Because when you do that, it's unpleasant. I want to ease into it now, because I used to work out a lot. I used to weigh a lot less than I do now. Probably about 100 pounds less than I do now. And at that time, working out wasn't something I was forcing myself to do. It was part of my routine. I would wake up in the morning and then go to the gym and then come back home and then go to work, or the other way around. I would go to work and then from work I would go right to the gym. Like, it was such a part of my routine that it didn't feel like work. And for some reason the chat room just reset. So I would encourage you to ease into working out just so that it becomes part of your routine, as like I said, as opposed to I gotta go hard for a month and then you just don't feel like doing it anymore. Oh, I hate feeling like this. I hate my nose being all stuffed up, and I know that it's coming through in the way I'm talking. I do want to make the effort to eat a little bit better. Or it's smaller portions, I should say. I will look into healthier foods from time to time, but smaller portions is probably my other big goal for that. And of course, my biggest goal at this point is to build a PC. That's definitely something that I want to do. We were late starting today because I have two old computers downstairs in my basement. A Dell Inspiron 530 and an E-Machines. I like 33410 or something. 3410 or whatever it is. But probably built like a Nokia. What were those Nokia phones? 3340s or something? Well, hold on a second here. I'm going to refresh the screen. Why did it make a noise? All right. Sorry, I had to refresh that screen. So if anybody, for some reason, I don't think the chat was coming up. I don't know if there's, something. I don't know what's going on. Could you all, I don't know, monkey butts. Just type monkey butts in the chat just so I know that it's working, and I want to see that it's coming up on the stream. I may have to reset everything. Nothing changed here. Okay, good. Yeah, I got a notification that it said welcome to the chat room just right in the middle of the chat, but then there was nothing after that, so I just wasn't sure what was going on. Monkey butts. Yeah, I love it. Oh, this is great. I just wanted to see if I can get you all to say monkey butts. I was having a hard time trying to watch the stream for the entire time I tried to be here. Also monkey butts. But yeah, I was downstairs. We started the stream late. I watched a video earlier today, and the guy had a good point. They were talking about, three-headed monkey butts. All right, so Dark Luke, I didn't say three-headed. Three-headed money butts. I guess you can't hear me. Oh, wait. Why is that loud? I guess I'm going to have to turn that up. The video I watched, he said that one of the things, I love sleeper things, fast cars that look like junk on the outside, things like that. The idea of sleeper PCs is fantastic to me. The old beige tower, yellowing doors because some of them were off and some of them were on. But then you open it up and it's a modern system inside. I love the idea of that. So I was watching a video about what to do with old PCs and building new PCs and old ones. And one of the guys, he came up with a bunch of different things you could do with your old PC. And one of them was to, if you plan on learning about computers or you want to learn how to build a new computer, if you have an old computer, take it apart. So you can get familiar with what all the kinds of parts look like, the sorts of things you're supposed to be looking for. How one thing that always got me, I watched the videos and they have RAM, and it has the little latches where you put the RAM, and then you're supposed to push the RAM in until the latches click. I was always worried that, oh my God, I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna push really hard and it's gonna snap because I'm gonna push it way too hard. So I was able to do that. I was able to take out the RAM that was in there and push it back in so I could kind of get a feel for how much pressure I'm supposed to put into it. That's the best way to learn about building, fixing computers. Open them up and see what ticks. Yeah, kind of like a PC Wonder Ball, but actually good. That's kind of what I'm doing with my PC. It's a kind of basic HP model, but then I'm going to shove a GTX 1050, a ton of RAM and other cool stuff in there. I opened it up and I haven't taken it apart yet. I just opened it up and looked at everything, and I was looking at the form of the inside. It has the power supply on top. For some reason, old computers have the power supply on top, and I can't stand that. But I'm looking at everything, and I'm seeing all of the parts that you see in a computer nowadays. I'm seeing the motherboard, obviously. It's got an NVIDIA graphics card in it, but it's like the old one before they ever put coverings on them or anything. It's got the CPU cooler, and the hard drive, all the stuff that it's supposed to have. And I'm looking at it thinking, you could probably build, and I posted this on Twitter, you could build a modern computer in this case, and then have the entire exterior look almost like just a regular Dell computer. Sure enough, yeah, that is something that you can do. It turns out that the case itself is a micro ATX form factor, which is the size of the motherboard. So I was like, oh my god, I could, my first PC that I ever build could be built inside of an old Dell. How great would that be? I'm honestly considering it. I'm honestly considering taking the whole thing out, because it would be everything. It would not be using any of the parts that are in there. The only problem is I would have to find a graphics card for a good price. See, one of my things for the PC that I'm gonna build, I have a GTX 980 graphics card, so I don't need to pay for a graphics card, and that's like $200-$400 out of the budget right there. Like that's I'm saving that money. If I were to build a PC inside that, I would need to buy a graphics card, because I would need to buy something small like a Radeon 580 or something. That would be a lot funnier than my light show of a PC. Oh, hot goggles. It's gonna have lights. You should give it the old Windows sound effect. Oh, God, yeah. While we're on the subject, I've been wondering this for a while. Are gaming PCs faster than gaming laptops? Yes. PCs tend to be fast. Whether it's gaming or otherwise, PCs tend to be faster than laptops across the board. Apparently, laptops are getting better, but gaming PCs are, they're definitely better. They're easier to work with. You have to buy a gaming laptop. You can build your own gaming PC, so you're going to save a bunch of money right there. And it's really not that complicated. I watched a video today that the guy built Linus Tech, I think it's called. He purposely built a computer wrong. No, I don't think it was Linus. It was somebody else. But he purposely built a computer doing a bunch of things that they tell you you're not supposed to do. Things that either make the computer not run as well or not work at all. Like he was doing stuff that could theoretically break the computer, and nothing was happening. Like the computer worked. It turned on and it posted just fine. Which is snazzy talk for it turned on and it went to the programs. It went to the BIOS. But you know, when you're getting into something, you got to get into the lingo. That's pretty much my PC. Old yet modern, huge case that had old parts. And then I upgraded the inside. Okay, yeah. See, yeah, this is and that's the thing. This is a like mid or micro size tower, because it only fits micro ATX boards. I kind of want a gaming PC laptop, but I'm working myself up to the idea first. I want it for the stream. I think the most important thing, Dragoon, to ask yourself is why you want it. If you're not much of a PC gamer, you don't need it. If you would like to become a PC gamer, it might help to have something that can run games a little bit better. At least better than consoles, so that you can understand what the point is. I don't have any interest in gaming on my PC, but I would like to have a better streaming computer. Because right now I'm using an i7. It's a laptop, but it's an i7 with 4 cores. All the things that I've been seeing about streaming PCs say 6 cores minimum is probably the best thing for you. Because I want to be able to stream at 60 frames per second. I would like it to be 1080p, but 720 is fine as long as I can do it at 60 frames per second. And I can't stream at 60 frames per second right now. If I put my camera at 60 frames per second, the OBS will start to hiccup, and it will eventually just drop the stream. I gotta go. Thanks for the video suggestion. No problem, Jeffersonia. Take care of yourself, and I will hope. I want to see you every episode this year. I want to see all of you every episode this year, but you know. I made a gaming laptop and it's great, but a good gaming desktop will always outdo a laptop until the tech. And the problem, Dr. Gibbs, is that when the tech catches up, the PC tech has gone even faster. It's gone even further ahead. So I wonder if it will ever catch up. As someone whose PC died before Christmas, you can build a PC on basic knowledge and a lot of frustration within the day. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm honestly considering taking that computer apart on stream. Remember when I had the top-down camera for taking the Super Nintendo games apart? I honestly considered setting my camera, and I haven't not considered it. I haven't ruled it out. But yeah, setting up the camera so that it's top down on, because I have a lot of workspace now, and then streaming just me taking it apart, just so I can sort of learn how everything works, what the difference is. Because I have an E-Machines, which at first glance is way older. It's got one stick of RAM, and everything is Molex connectors. The connector with like the 4 big round pins in it. But then the other computer, the Dell, has everything is connected with those SATA and the other cable, the other power cable that looks like the SATA, but it's just the other way. Like SATA has a connector that's a line, and then it's a little notch. The other one is a little wider, and the notch is on the other side. So it's those connectors. So I'm like, oh, this is much more modern. I could build something in here. Truth be told, I'd rather build something in the E-Machines case, just because I think that would be a lot funnier to show up somewhere with the E-Machines case. I want a beast of a PC mostly for editing. Yeah, see, you're in the same boat that I am, where you're not as much into gaming as you are into working. So you would need like a 6 or 8 core CPU. So then you need a whole bunch of other stuff to go with it. When my laptop takes 5 hours to render a 30-minute video at 720p, and I've dealt with it for years, I'm sick of it. I want to be more productive on YouTube. I also need it so I can stream more than 30 frames per second. And then putting a beefy graphics card in there will give me the opportunity to play PC games with friends. Yeah, see? Silver Tech Talk, making a show. Rocky Bear, tech for beginners. Tech for slightly above beginners. That's probably because I feel like I'm competent in there, but I've never actually worked with that stuff, with the exception of and I'm gonna blow your minds here, literally, well, not literally, but a Sound Blaster audio card is probably the most complicated thing I've done to a computer, the insides of a computer ever. And putting in an old Sound Blaster card is literally just unscrewing one of the little coverings for the PCI slots and sticking it in there. Slightly above beginners. Yeah. Yeah, just and again, it would just be so that I could take it apart and familiarize myself. Like I said, the Dell, look, because the way I've learned is that you need 8 things to build a PC. It's only 8 things, and whenever, I know it sounds weird to say only 8 things, that's like a little more, but not much better. Yeah. From what I understand is you only need 8 things. You need a CPU. You need a fan for the CPU, which which CPUs come with a fan anyway. Most people just upgrade them. You need a motherboard to stick it all on. You need a graphics card to handle that graphics compatibility. A hard drive. Hold on, I'm missing one. RAM. A power supply to power everything, and a case to put it all in. That's it. Apparently, that's the whole thing. The Dell looks like it has all of those pieces individually, so I can see them. The E-Machines, it looks a little different, but I still want to build inside of that. Nintendo doesn't care about ROMs. Why do they take so? Oh, Shadow, we'll get into it. You don't have to be nice because I am absolutely a beginner with computers. Though, because I game a lot, my family always they always assume you're good. Yeah, you turn into the tech guy. What if you can tell people what the yellow, red, and white cables do? on their VCR, you are the tech guy now. That's it. That's what you do. Silver's Tech Demos. ST, never mind. I like it, Rocky Bear. But any device is setting up for PC in a small, really cramped room with no wired connection. Also, our gaming PC is fast. Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what a Raspberry Pi is. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm interested in doing that, just like I said, so I can see what it all looks like. I'll get a can of air and clean all of that crap out, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be the computer guy that builds a PC inside of his Dell Inspiron 530. It's cool looking too, and people, it's silver on the outside. Come on. Although the E-Machines is black and silver. Now I'm getting all worked up. I can't even afford my first PC, and I already want to build the second and third one. All right. Anyone know how to hack an SNES Classic? It's really good. It's if you can do it, it's great. Let me see something here. I had a thing set up right up in the screen here so that I can have a picture for whatever I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I don't have pictures set up for my next topic. So yeah, that's my New Year's. New Year. Okay, so New Year's apparently take better care of myself, get back into some sort of exercise routine, and stream me taking apart a computer so that I can learn how to put it all back together again. My only problem was that computer didn't work before. Something was wrong with it, and I don't know if it was the hard drive or what. But it's not. I won't be able to put it back together and test to see if it worked. And if it works, and I did everything right. If I was super rich, I'd buy you a silver limo because you're Uncle Silver. I would not. Ace Fox, I don't know that I would want a silver limo. I think I would rather have a silver minivan. I love my minivan. Loved my minivan. I don't have it anymore. I have a Dodge Journey now. That's okay. Let's see something here. Okay. All right. For the next topic. For the next topic, what are we at? Wait. I want to test something out here. There's like stream markers or something. Wasn't there like... Hold on. I have this problem because I upload all of the episodes. I've been uploading the episodes directly. There we go. Okay. I've been uploading the episodes directly to YouTube instead of breaking it up into smaller episodes. But I want to start putting timestamps on everything so when I change when we have the discussion. So hard to park a limo too. Yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to drive the limo, but I kind of want to. All right. So for this topic, this is not... It's a bit of a discussion. It's a bit... I feel like a debate is about to start here. I'm going to take you through the history of why I think Nintendo doesn't care about ROMs. The recent history. I started at another Metroid 2 remake. I honestly prefer the whole episode. Yeah, Sean, you're not the only one. I think a lot of other people like that too. And I kind of like it myself because sometimes when I break it up into a topic, first of all, it's more annoying on my end. But sometimes we still are kind of referencing the topic from before. So if it's one big episode, people can watch it. Timestamp hype. So it started to me with AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake. Before this game came out, we knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming, who was following it. We knew the time that it was going to happen, that it was going to drop and become available, like literally to the hour that it was going to happen. We were following it. We were waiting for it. It came out. Everybody was saying they're going to get a takedown notice. They're going to get a takedown notice. They didn't get a takedown notice. The game came out. It was maybe 10 hours later that Nintendo sent them a takedown notice. Hey, Mr. Sonic, Happy New Year. So it was about 10 hours that they issued the takedown and it had to be removed. 10 hours in internet time is a lifetime. when you have something that people have been waiting for, 10 hours, giving people 10 hours to download it, you might as well just not take it down at all because it's going to be out there. It seemed odd to me, and of course Nintendo caught a bunch of flack because they had to do that. They have to defend their IP because if they don't, other people can do the same thing, and then their case is, oh well, this other companies did it, and you didn't touch them. Why did you say something to us? So they have to defend their property. So I get that, but it seemed odd to me that everybody in that community knew it was coming. Yet it still ended up happening, and it still stayed up for 10 hours, long enough for everybody to grab it. So that was kind of suspicious to me about the whole idea that Nintendo is the evil corporation. Ooh, thank you.
Bourbon chocolate cookies.
Ooh.
They're really good. Hi. Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody. So it seemed a bit suspicious to me that Nintendo was this evil company, but they allowed this to happen. So, okay, that's fine. We come up to this ROM lawsuit. We jump to this ROM lawsuit where they sued the owners of Love ROMs, the website Love ROMs, for $100 million. Ended up winning the lawsuit for $12 million. It'll probably be settled for less. Remember, we're web law here. Here's the problem. A lot of people said, oh, well, they're suing them because of their ROMs. Seems obvious enough. With the Switch being out and they're trying to push their online service, and one of the features of their online service is NES ROMs, NES games that you can play, it seemed kind of possible that that's what was going on, and they were focusing on protecting their ROM IPs, which is fine, except $100 million did seem a bit excessive. So what they end up winning for $12 million. Here's the problem. Love ROMs was using Nintendo images as the advertising for their website. Their logo had piranha plants in it. They had Mario characters all over the place. I questioned, and we talked about this before when it happened, I questioned how much of that $12 million was related directly to the use of their imagery to promote the website, and not related to the ROMs. Because there's no question that they were distributing ROMs. It's been like 5 or 6 years that website's been doing that. It just seemed odd to me that you had this other thing that they could very likely get sued for, and they only got hit for $12 million, even though they did all that other stuff. So it just seemed kind of weird to me. Enter the Soulja Boy stuff in the fantastic array of the family of Soulja Boy systems, as we will call them from now on. Emu Paradise's logo for browser tabs is a Mario mushroom, and they were one of the first ones. And remember, they closed Emu Paradise. I call them Emu Paradise. They closed down on their own. They didn't even get a takedown notice or anything. They just decided that they were going to fold it up and leave. So there's another one where I wonder if that was related to that. So enter the Soulja Boy family of systems. Nintendo doesn't say anything until you get a system that looks blatantly like the bottom half of a DS Lite. Then all of a sudden Nintendo has something to say. Now the website for the Soulja Boy system, for that particular one at least, automatically links to Nintendo's website, and I think it links to something about the DS. I didn't have it here. Soulja Boy, that's a stupid video. I don't care about this video. Okay. A pack of 4 trips, so I'll just listen off and on. Aunt Gold and Uncle Silver are gonna end up with cybernetic enhancement by 20. I hope so. I hope to see 2077. Now just joking around. So the Soulja Boy thing, Nintendo ends up taking him down, which he's a douche anyway, so he deserves it. The system looks suspiciously like a Nintendo system physically. Wasn't one of them was a straight up Game Boy ripoff. Yeah, it looked almost exactly like a Game Boy Pocket. A lot of people are saying that this is another example of Nintendo defending their ROMs. I don't think so. I don't think Nintendo cares at all about ROMs. I think what Nintendo is defending against is the theft of any imagery on their part. They stopped a game that was based on Metroid, but they allowed the game itself enough time to get out there and what is the propagate the word? To basically get out there on a scale that can't be stopped. If Nintendo was to ever say, okay, no more AM2R ever, that's never going to happen. And they allowed that to happen. They waited 10 hours after that game was released to allow that to happen. They took down a website not for ROMs, for property, for IP theft of imagery, of pictures, of drawings, of artwork. They took down this Soulja Boy system. They didn't care until you got a system that looked exactly like a Nintendo system. I don't think Nintendo actually cares about ROMs the way everybody thinks. I think that what they care about is somebody looking at some product or some website that is not associated with them and assuming it is associated with them. You know, going to Love ROM's website and seeing Piranha Plants and Mario characters all over and thinking, oh, well, Nintendo seems to be okay with this. You know, they might have a hand in it. No, they don't, but they need you to understand that they don't. It seems very interesting. It seems very, that's what I see. That's the common thread in these things. It's not ROMs. It's not the fact that they're attacking ROMs or creations or anything like that. They seem to be making sure that nobody is trying to illegally associate themselves with Nintendo. Now I need the sound of Mr. Incredible. You're not affiliated with me. Also telling Nintendo just try and take them down. Yeah, probably was a stupid plan. Pokemon Prism and Brown were taken down for using Pokemon IP. Uranium. Pokemon Uranium, wasn't that one of them that was taken down for the same thing? I can see your point about the big end not caring for ROMs. It's a weird situation, though. I also agree. I think they feel compelled to include ROMs in the lawsuit so that people don't think they don't care. Well, that's the thing, Dragoon. I think that they kind of have to mention ROMs. We don't have any information on what happened with the Soulja Boy stuff. We don't, as far as I know, we don't have any documentation of a lawsuit filed against him, because the lawsuit filed against Love ROMs is where we got the information of why they were suing them. We didn't get that from the Soulja Boy situation. I'm guessing their lawyers contacted his lawyers and told him knock it off. So he did. Well, knock it off or else. But the ROMs are just sort of naturally tied up into all of this. From what I understand, there has been issues before where Nintendo has gone after people who are just using their images and nothing to do with ROMs, but that's not a high-profile thing to talk about, so nobody ever hears about that stuff. I would imagine that that's definitely what has happened many, many times over, specifically with the Mario franchise. I also agree they feel compelled to include. Oh yeah, Pokemon Uranium was taken down for using Pokemon logo, graphics, and some Pokemon. Notice that it doesn't say anything about the game itself. All it complains about is some of the associated imagery, because if you could have called the game, I don't know. Actually, in the U.S., you probably could have called it Pocket Monsters. Since there wasn't actually a Pocket Monsters franchise over here. It was Pokemon over here. You probably could have actually called it Pocket Monsters, made the exact same game, and Nintendo would have said, okay, that's fine. You can do that. The second you use the actual word Pokemon, they have to say something. It's more of an image thing. I'm just happy one of AM2R designers got a job in the industry. I wouldn't be surprised if he had gotten a job with Nintendo. Was it Soulja Boy's game? Yeah, they were emulating. And Ace Fox, that's the point. Is those Soulja Boy systems were just glorified emulator machines, but Nintendo didn't seem to care until they started putting out one of those systems that looked like a Nintendo system. That's when they had a problem with it. Fan games and ROM hacks are okay, but distributing a modified game with GBA and DS and more is wrong. Did Nintendo get caught using ROMs? They took, yeah, one of the ROMs, I think, for the NES online service, I think one of those ROMs has some glitch or some notification, some indication that it was something that was put up online and then re-downloaded by them, which is hilarious to me. I question the legality of that. I question where the legality on Nintendo's part, and obviously the legality on the part of the original ROM owner. If they modified the game in some way or did something, and Nintendo downloaded it and uses it, does Nintendo downloading and using it, is that legal premise to say that the other owner now has legal right to it? I don't know. That's very, remember, we're web law here, so we're just talking out of our law books. Some mobile games use Pocket Monsters and still are up. Okay, yeah, so there is it, because yeah, Pocket Monsters in the US was not the name of it. So they're legally, that should be an available name to use. The Nintendo quality seal has always been an important factor for Nintendo and fan. Yeah, selling something that looks like Nintendo just because seems to be the thing that sets them off. I really don't think they care about ROMs as much as everybody else thinks. If they did, first of all, if they really cared about ROMs that badly, they would have made the NES and SNES classics way harder to hack into, as opposed to, hey, you could plug it up to your computer and use this one program. It would have been a lot more complicated. They could very easily have put no ports on the thing whatsoever, made some sort of proprietary power plug, and left it at that. But no, they made it micro USB. They gave the USB access to the memory on the system. It just seems very interesting that for all this talk of them hating ROM thieves and stuff, they don't actually, when you really, really sit down and think about it, they don't really seem to care. And I love that Nintendo quality seal of approval. It meant you were getting a quality product every time, even if you were downloading it from somebody else. Oh, man. Star Fox 2 was released with a $60 SNES Classic. Let me go download the ROM instead. They did it. They did it already. Well, did you see the SimCity? Well, I guess they saved it. They salvaged the SimCity ROM, because apparently there was a version of it on the NES, but it never came out. They salvaged it, and I don't know if they had to do anything to repair sectors of the ROM, but they did it, and it's up. I want to find out if it can be downloaded, because I would love to play it here, because it's effectively SimCity on the Super Nintendo, but obviously NES, so it's scaled back as far as graphics quality and sound quality. I would love to play it here just because I was such a giant fan of the SimCity on the NES, on the SNES. I think they actually like ROMs for game curation, if nothing else. Yeah. We talked about it before when we talked about the Love ROMs thing the first time. ROMs being out there and easily available and playable have kept the idea of Nintendo alive, of retro games really, alive for a lot of people. If for the last 20 years, these ROMs and games were impossible to get, and they stayed very expensive, and no one had access to them, and there were no retro Famicom Twin system, whatever they have, Retrovision, whatever. If all of that stuff didn't exist, nobody would care about a large portion of old retro games. The fact that we've had access to them this entire time means that as new people grow up, they get to experience these things for the first time. People who played them as a kid don't have to just say, well, I used to play that as a kid. Now they can play it again, and it keeps the idea of those games fresh in their minds, and that not only feeds that industry, the retro industry, but it feeds the modern industry because it keeps people gaming. And as long as people keep playing video games, they're going to want new video games. If you go into this era where for a long stretch of time nobody cares about video games, it'll be difficult to dig yourself out of that hole. It's a continuous business, and as long as people are into it, they will continue to be into it. The more of a lull you allow to happen, the worse it can be for the industry. I always wondered about how companies feel when their games consoles get emulated or data mined for some reason. Yeah, I wonder that too, Minion. I wonder when they data mine. I'm sure it's annoying. They just data mined some information for Smash Brothers about the DLC characters that we don't know about yet, and we won't talk about any of that here. So please do not put any of that spoiler. They're saying that there's a spoiler for what the character after Joker might be. I actually saw something about that a couple weeks ago, but apparently there's evidence for it now. So I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to spoil that for anybody. I kind of interested if I am. Oh, see, lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's interesting though to question. Okay. How they feel about it. Like for the Smash Brothers stuff, they want to keep all of these characters a surprise. So it would suck for somebody to release a list that says, oh, okay, these are the next characters. It's not as fun of a surprise anymore. It's the spoiler culture. It's the spoiler culture that I can't stand. If you want to data mine it and find it out for yourself, that's fine. But don't go somewhere and then just blurt it out to the world what you found, because not everybody wants to hear it. So I don't like it. I like the idea of being surprised by who the other characters are. My boy is here. Hey, Dangerous. Say hi. Hi, everybody. I don't know how he sounds. I don't know that I've ever given him a voice. No meows today. Meow. Spoiler culture plus some cases where they block DLC on discs. Oh yeah. So some of them probably deserve it. Putting all of the content on the disc and then charging people for it later is you deserve to have your secrets spoiled. I know it's their job, but data mine. See, and it's not their job; it's their hobby. Mind you, Ace Fox, nobody's getting paid for this. They just like doing it. The data miners that post their findings on the internet sure do know how to ruin something that's supposed to. Yeah, exactly. No, please no. Spoiler culture, less cutscenes in World of Light. Yeah. I think that's why they data mine, or at least why they start. Yeah, well, they started because everybody loves this idea of I've got to be the first one with the information, and that's been the case for a long time now. I mean, news channels have been doing it for years. YouTubers do it all the time. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, but let's be honest. When a story breaks, there are no shortage of YouTubers that absolutely want to get that discussion out there first. Most of those data miners stick to Chan boards, and if you go on those, you don't deserve anything nice anyway. Yeah, I stay away from the Chans, but you'd be surprised at how some of those people want to go to other places and ruin it. Some people like ruining that stuff just because they like being jerks, and they like ruining stuff, and it's very unpleasant and rotten. I don't know how I do it, but I can avoid. Yeah, I do. I do very well, Minion, avoiding spoilers. I do a really good job of it, and I think it's because there's no question that I avoid spoilers. So people have a habit of not even try. I have been in situations where people have been talking about something and have turned around to me and said, is it cool that we talk about this? And I always feel kind of bad thinking, you don't have to clear things with me to have a discussion. but at the same time, they know how I am with spoilers. They know that it's not something that I'm a huge fan of. So a lot of people are very wary of me. Like people on my feed on Twitter, no one's going to send me a message that says, "Hey, do you want to hear about the new spoiler?" Because they know that I don't. GX got their discussion out there real quick. Yeah, and I love Game Explain. I love Derek and those guys. They do that. They are a bit spoilery, and I think they got called out on it a couple of months ago. There was something that they talked about that I think they talked about a character that was coming, but then they had a silhouette of the character or something, and so it was blatantly obvious. So I remember they got called out on something, but then from then on, their thumbnails are always very vague now. Kingdom Heart 3 leak appears on YouTube front page. I leave the site. All that being said, I don't think character reveals in fighting games are that much of a spoiler personally. But I still see. Okay. Fun fact: before the release of Soul Calibur 6, someone made a fake leak analysis of the DLC content. All right, so here's the thing, Hawk Goggles. Normally, I would agree with you. If you're going to tell me a secret character for Street Fighter, and it's Akuma, that's not a secret. That's not a mind-blowing secret. Okay, like there's probably a culture of people who expected it. Smash Brothers is a whole different beast, though, especially now. We are at a point where we're pretty much out of characters from the Nintendo world. So anyone who's left, before Joker was announced for Smash, there is not realistically a person on the planet who could have thought that was going to happen. That is mind-blowing. Smash is such a different beast when it comes to the idea of fighting games, which, whether it's a fighting game or a party game, that's a discussion for another time. But it's such a different beast that it's not the same to say, oh, well, there's a fighting game character in a fighting game. You got Joker from Persona 5. You had a potted plant. Before Joker, there was a potted plant that's being added to the game. You can't call that kind of stuff. So when in the case of Smash Brothers, I do think that is very spoilery, because I do think there is a lot to the reveal of these characters in Smash. You could say all you want, like, oh, well, it's a fighting game, it's going to have some characters, and now Smash Brothers it's got some weird characters. If they pull up a reveal and Master Chief is in Smash Brothers, only I have predicted that. Because I'm going to say it until all 5 characters are revealed. I believe Master Chief is coming to Halo. Coming to Halo. What am I, the Covenant? I believe Master Chief is coming to Smash Brothers. Character reveal is a big part of the fun, therefore it's considered. Yeah, and that's the thing. There are still a few Nintendo characters left. They aren't playable, though. But at least are in the game and gameplay. Yeah, I think that there is a lot to be said about the character reveals in Smash Brothers and how exciting it is and how much hype it builds. So I do think that it matters. Like I said, if you revealed that Akuma or M. Bison was going to be in the next Street Fighter game, okay, you know what? I have a perfect example for you. They announced Negan for Tekken 7. All right. That's a weird crossover. That's the character you wouldn't have expected. People did talk about it for a little while, and then they stopped talking about it really quick. Nobody cared, because it's Tekken. It's Tekken. It is what it is. It's not. It has a big following. It's not to the level of Smash Brothers. It's not the kind of game where you're supposed to be expecting these crazy characters. So at the same time that should build up hype, it's kind of like, eh. And of course, part of it is probably just that it's Negan. But for Smash, if you would have said Negan for Smash Brothers, the world would have collectively had a question mark over their head, for sure. but there would have been a lot of hype over it. There would have been a lot of discussion whether you were for or against it. I don't believe I think it's cool that anyone can be in Smash, but character picks is so personal that I think it works. It works on a person-to-person basis. I don't care how much. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean in that. Well, Hot Goggles, I think that's one of the ideas behind the hype, and I think that's why the hype is so great, because until that reveal drops and you see that it's not the character you want, it is still possibly the character that you want. Think about it this way, Hawk Goggles. Think of one of your favorite video game characters that's not already in Smash Brothers. That might be from another franchise. That might be from even on another system. Think of that character that you love so much. What if that character hit Smash? You would probably go nuts. As much as you don't want to believe like, oh yeah, the hype is stupid. The hype is only stupid when you don't really care about the character. I was very hyped for the not very hyped, but I was kind of hyped for the Joker in Smash thing. Not because I haven't even played Persona 5, but the idea that it shatters any preconceptions that you might have about who the characters are going to be is what hyped me up the most. Because let's face it, King K. Rool is hilarious, but when they added him to the game, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I was happy that people who really like the character got to see their character, but I still have characters that I want to see. So until we get the full 5 characters out, I'm still going to look at these unspoken characters and say, I kind of hope it's my guy, man. I hope that it's the character that I want. And that hype is great. I love that hype. And then imagine how much it boils over when it happens. The TMNT reveal for Injustice 2. Negan and Tekken stole NetherRealm Studios thunder. It's not that it's Tekken. It's that it's Negan from The Walking Dead. People went wild for Noctis and Geese Howard. Oh, or the return of Rock Howard in an SNK game. Even though it was more of a niche thing. That's how I felt with Joker was announced for Smash. I was super hyped. You guys already know how much. See, yeah, I haven't even played Persona 5, so I'm not hyped for the character. I'm hyped for the fact that we are getting, other than Snake, we're getting another very, very blatantly Sony character. So my argument is still that they were on stage, Reggie and the 2 other guys, the guy from Microsoft and the guy from Sony, they were on stage together talking about how they're going to work together to build a better future for gaming and all. And not long after we got the reveal of a quote-unquote Sony character in Smash Brothers, I think we're on the verge of a Microsoft character in Smash Brothers, and I think there is no greater representation for Microsoft than Master Chief. Other than maybe Blinks the Cat. I think Jay Witz actually has Master Chief as his number 1 want for Smash Brothers. Yeah, could you imagine? And it's a want that that is not likely. I'm not crazy. I know that Master Chief is a far out there idea, but I do feel like there's basis for it, and I can't imagine the world hype that would build if it happened. Unlike Bayonetta and Metal Gear, Persona has never been on it. Bayonetta was, but at the time Bayonetta was on the Wii U, and Bayonetta is now a Nintendo exclusive, basically. Bayonetta was another one that I was saying. Bayonetta, yeah, Persona Q can count, I guess. Bayonetta was one that I was saying, Bayonetta's coming to Smash, man. I'm guaranteeing you, Bayonetta's coming to Smash. After Nintendo picked up Bayonetta and saved that franchise, she's definitely coming. And there's one guy that I talked to is like, no, she's too. This was back in the Wii U days when they were still very kiddie about everything. He's like, no, she's a bit too risque as far as, her sexual presentation and all of that. Like, he just really believed that it wasn't going to happen. The reveal dropped, and I saw him a couple days later at work. He's like, I got to hand it to you, man. I cannot believe that actually happened. As for Joker, I haven't played P5 yet, but 2 of my close friends love that game and joke about him getting in even though they wanted it. When I saw it happen, since I watched the Game Awards with them, but when I saw it when I watched the Game Awards with them, I was shocked. But I was excited to see them get their cat. Yeah, oh my god. Persona 5 Persona Q can count though. Buddy, you're on the headphones. Get up. Go. He gets all mixed up and he gets tangled up in the wires and then he gets frustrated because he's stuck. Some of the new characters in Smash were more of a finally reaction to me, like the Belmonts and K. Rool. Ridley too, I guess, but Ridley in particular was a lot more than finally. Yeah, see, and that's what I like. I like that more than finally. I like the what? I like that feeling. Conquer seems likely. I still see Conquer as Nintendo, but I guess he has migrated over to Microsoft, so I think that would work. And since there's history there, it is possible. I like a good surprise, but personally, whether I know the secret or not won't ruin. Oh, see, yeah, it ruins it for me, Hawk. And you're entitled to your opinion. I don't want to make it sound like I'm attacking your opinion or anything. I do like the surprise though. I don't like surprise parties. Let's get that out there. I do not like the idea of surprise parties. But I do like the idea of being surprised pleasantly. My problem with surprise parties is that I generally don't like parties. So it's not a pleasant surprise when I see one. Commander Shepard for Smash would be hilarious. Shepard for Smash would be ridiculous. And I would love every second of it. I would love every second of... There are so many other characters that you could go into it. Why is Commander Shepard there? Oh yeah, Persona Q is the only one. The other games you're thinking of are SM. Yeah. Shin Megami Tensei. Although I think Joker getting in had a lot to do with Sakurai bias, because it's no secret that he loves that game. The Belmonts didn't hype me for two reasons. I'm not a Castlevania guy. It was leaked already. Yeah, see, the leak kind of ruins it. Johnny Pancho. The thing about the DLC characters is that they were picked by Nintendo themselves, which makes the choice to include Joker even more interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering, John, if they're using this as a bridge to cross into with the other companies. Because let's be honest, Joker being in Smash Brothers is an advertisement for Persona 5. It really is an advertisement for Persona. There are a lot of people who probably saw that and thought, who? Persona 5? Oh, I've heard of that game. It's that good that they put a character in Smash? Let me give it a shot. Probably Nintendo throwing a bone, because I think Nintendo gave him a list of characters and said to choose 5 characters. I'm Commander Shepard, and Smash is my favorite game for the Switch. I love that. I would want that as a sign to carry around. Sakurai begged for Joker to get in, as he is a Persona 5 fan. Now to cancel the surprise party, just give you your surprise. I'll take a surprise gift. I don't like surprise parties. I like gifts, not parties. This is my favorite main on the Citadel. All right, we have a half an hour left, so I think we're gonna ditch the topics of the year. I was gonna do a discussion where I wanted to ask you guys what you thought your hottest topics of the year was, but I will ask you for viewer topics. So I mean, you obviously can talk about that if you want, but there we go. Do you have any topics that you want to discuss other than Smash Brothers characters? I mean, Snake ended because Konami didn't want any more heat for the BS they pulled. Yeah. I know that if he's still here, Rocky Bear had a topic that he wanted to discuss. Okay. What is this? Yeah. That was me now. I'm kind of interested in trying a Persona game. Sakurai's good friends with Kojima. Ooh, interesting. Oh, maybe we'll get what the heck is his name? Daryl Dixon. Norman Reedus. Maybe we'll get Norman Reedus for Smash. Daryl Dixon for Smash. When do I think the Direct is going to be? I keep hearing that there's rumors of a Direct this month. I don't really follow the rumors, but I do think that it's possible that I think we had one January of last. Actually, we had one January. We had one the January before the Switch came out, and that was a huge one. That was the one which was, I think it was January 12th that year, and that was all of the Switch news. I'm pretty sure we had one January of last year, but I gotta be honest, I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't know. I really just don't have any idea. I don't know that there are any milestones going on this month, big events or anything like that would justify putting it in a specific place. So I honestly think it's just going to be join us in 2 days for a direct. I really think we're going to get short notice. Do you think there will ever be world peace? Yes, Jones. I believe we will reach world peace when we find another world to go to war with. That is a grim idea of what people are like. People, I think, are always looking for conflict, large or small. And I think for the world not to fight itself and to finally agree on something, I think that would happen because aliens came down or another world was discovered. There was some other race, some common thing to fight against, which realistically ourselves is the only common thing that we should be fighting against, because environmental issues are a serious concern and no one seems to be taking it seriously at all. Can we get the Death Stranding fetus in Smash? How about Diego? Why don't we combine them and we just have Redis with the fetus? Yeah. Not a topic, but a question. Since we are 6 days until Tales of Vesperia remaster, are you interested in it? The last time I tried to get into a Tales game was Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube. I see how long some of those games are, and it kind of takes me out of playing it. I have played Tales of Destiny 2, which was Tales of Eternia, and I started playing Tales of Destiny 1, and I stopped playing it. I think it was just I started doing something else, which is a very common theme for me. So I wouldn't mind getting back into that. Truth be told, I have Tales of Xillia and Berseria, I think I have, and I have had no interest to open them up. Not that I think that they're bad, nothing has driven me to open them. The good one meant to be a serious question. Well, Jones, it's a serious topic. Well, I've been playing Jet Set Radio Future a lot lately, and I can ask. Hold on a second. Okay. Is building a theme park atop of a series of skyscrapers with no railings no, Ace Fox, I don't think that's ever a good idea, nor is the idea of a roller coaster that ejects people off of the end of it a good idea. And yet Roller Coaster Tycoon, I think everybody did it at least once. We had a mini direct in January and a regular direct in March. Okay. Yeah, John, 2 years ago, before the Switch came out, we had a big giant direct I remember it was January 12th, and we had the direct that was the Switch direct. So I don't know, maybe we'll get another big one this year. Maybe they'll do every other year. The government shutdown and the fact that Sean, I don't really talk about politics here. I do think that it sucks that there is this government shutdown. I had a customer come in today. I sell regional rail train tickets, and I had a customer come in today, and he didn't know what to buy because he's not sure how long the shutdown's going to go, so he didn't know if he could justify buying a monthly pass or not. It sucks to have to see this. Like I said, I don't really talk about politics here, but it sucks to have to see this country almost tearing itself apart from the inside to the point where they can't even agree to make sure that everybody still has a job. And that just seems a little weird to me. I mean, granted, I also think that it's weird that we think that people have to afford to be able to stay alive through medical insurance, but that's a whole other series of episodes that we will never air. Mass Effect universe. Can I meet a female alien first, though? Diego, it depends. Do you want to see like the Orion girl from Star Trek, the green lady with the green skin, or do you want to see one of those aliens from Galaxy Quest in their original form? Because let's face it, the idea of female alien, it can go a lot of different ways. I mean, that's a level in the game, and you have to grind on rails. Oh yeah, rails that are part of the roller coaster. Rails that are part of roller coasters, by the way. So yeah, that none of that seems very safe to me. But it does sound like super intense parkour. Rocky Bear. I don't know if Rocky Bear is still here. Rocky Bear said he had a question for me earlier. Any Rocky Bear? Rocky Bear. Wait. Rocky Bear, please come to the front for your question. Rocky Bear, please come to the front for your question. Yay! I have the other mixer hooked up, so now I have all my fun sound effects again. What games are you looking forward to? I'm packed for the first 3 months of the year. I am looking forward to Metroid and Animal Crossing, and that's it, because I can't afford to buy anything since I'm saving for this computer. So I'm doing my very, very best to not look at anything so that I don't have to feel bad about not being able to afford it. In all honesty, I usually take a chunk of my income tax refund, and that's how I fund my trip to Too Many Games. I don't really think I'm going to do a lot of shopping this year. I think I should have the PC built by then, but more than likely, I'm not going to do much shopping there at all. If anything else, I may take more stuff to sell while I'm there. What do you think will be Nintendo's big game of the year? For 2017, it was Odyssey. For 2018, it was Smash. Okay. You've got three possibilities here, John. In my opinion, you've got three possibilities for what the big games could be. Of the stuff that has already been announced. Because because notice, Mario Odyssey was at the end of the year. That was November, I think, or October. And Smash Brothers was December, so it's at the end of the year. So realistically, we could have a direct within a few weeks that will tell us about a game that's coming out at the end of the year, and that surprise game could be the big game of the year. Of the games that we know about, Metroid Prime 4, I think they could push as a big seller. Animal Crossing, I think they could push as a big seller. Hey, Lizard! Animal Crossing, or what was the other one that I was thinking of? There is one more that... the mainline Pokemon game. Pokemon Let's Go was not the mainline game of the series. It is a side adventure game / companion to Pokemon Go. If the Pokemon main series game comes out this year, I think that would definitely be the top runner. In all seriousness, if you were to release all three games, Pokemon would be at the top. I would prefer... See, I can't even say that. Metroid and Animal Crossing, I kind of prefer equally for different reasons. I wouldn't know. But if you put out the main Pokemon game this year, that's it. There's your main game. That's it. And it's gonna move 10 million freaking units of systems in order for people to play a brand new Pokemon game. They predicted 20 million units before the end of their fiscal year, which actually ends in March, I think. And people thought it was crazy, and it looks like they might actually do it. And that was with Smash Brothers. And some of the other stuff. If you put out a Pokemon game, forget it. 30 million units by next year, 40 million units by next year. Let's Go was a proof of concept. Pretty much, it proves that they can make something different work. And I'm enjoying Let's Go. I really hope that I hope that mainline Pokemon games continue, and when it comes to the different areas of Let's Go, that they are downloads later on. I will gladly pay $20 for the next batch of Pokemon and a new map that's just added to Let's Go. And then another $20 after that. I would keep doing that. That would be worth it for me to say, okay, I bought Pokemon Let's Go. I bought I got the damn Pokeball controller, which is, it's fine, but it's not. Rather than buy another game for $60, just keep selling me a little bit of download that's a whole nother game. I'll do it. I'll do it for that. Because the alternative, like I said, is a $60 game once every other year, and I don't think that that's justified. I don't think that Let's Go was so jam-packed full of content that you could justify another $60 every year or every other year. Animal Crossing won't be a big game in terms of hype, but it would be something. Yeah, exactly, Hawk Goggles, and that's why I say, as far as I think it will draw a lot of people in, but I don't think it's the game that Nintendo's going to be advertising during the Super Bowl. It would definitely not be, but it is a game that they know when they push it out. Units, man, people will absolutely buy Switches for Animal Crossing. There are still giant communities playing New Leaf, which I would honestly do if it wasn't on the 3DS server. Let me move my New Leaf Town to the Switch. Holy smokes! I honestly like the idea of seeing the Pokemon in the screen before you encounter them. I love that about the Tales games. And I like that about the Grandia series. Seeing them in the screen before having them walk around. Yeah, I love that. Sean, I love Let's Go. I love the changes that they made to catching the Pokemon in Let's Go. People argue that, it's just Pokemon Go and there's no real challenge to it. First of all, there is a challenge to it because I sat there and walked around forever for an Abra to appear and they kept running away. So before I could actually throw the ball. So sorry, but you're out of your mind if you think that it is very simple. I don't have to worry about killing them with my Pokemon because I'm trying to catch one and I have to weaken it first. Thank God for False Swipe. False Swipe, probably the greatest move that was ever added to the Pokemon lexicon of moves, just because now I can finally attack the Pokemon and guaranteed not kill it. They need to crank up the difficulty and give us some slightly more traditional capture mechanics. But I like what I say. Yes, I think the capture mechanic is fine. I think that a little bit more control, because I do have some issues throwing the ball, but I don't mind, and you have to learn a little bit. As far as the difficulty goes, I agree with you there. I do think that more focus needs to be put on making harder challenges for people to meet. And I get it. I get that Pokemon is generally for kids, and some kids need an easier gaming experience. But I think that there should be a way to incorporate very difficult aspects. Let's Go did add something that I like, which are the ace trainers. They are typically stronger trainers out there, and you can always avoid them, almost always avoid them. But if you want a stronger challenge, you make sure to fight them when you see them. I still think they're a little too easy. I think that the trainer battles as they are, the ace trainer battles as they are now, but if the trainers had one or two more Pokemon, because I run into them that are really tough, but they still only have 1 and 2 Pokemon. Make them have 4 Pokemon, and we would have a much better challenge on our hands. Luigi's Mansion 3 might not be a system seller, but I think it would be a big seller. I don't know that it would be a system seller, but yeah, I do think that tons of people would see it. I want to see a hybrid of the Go capture mechanics and a more traditional style. The only thing I want is I want to be able to use the sticks to sort of throw the ball. I have a problem with doing this with the Joy-Con, just because it's not like, if the Pokemon is to the right, I haven't figured out how to throw the ball all the way to the right yet. I've done this. I have twisted the Joy-Con. I've done a bunch of things. I'm not entirely sure how to accurately throw it to the right. I can throw it to the left or the middle just fine. I'd pick up Let's Go if it didn't look so simple. I also like to see a combination. Yeah, Hawk Goggles, it is simple. It is. There's no question. There's no question that it's simple. But I'll be honest with you, it is as simple as Pokemon Gen 1 was. For all the difficulty that we remember about Pokemon, the first two games, Red and Blue or Red and Green, wherever you're from, and Yellow, they were not complicated games. They really were not. There were some things that you could pay attention to if you wanted to, but they were not complex games. This is basically just an extension of that. So yeah, it's definitely not a complex game, but sometimes you don't need complex. Sometimes it's you want to play a game, you want to sit down, you want to catch some Pokemon and get into a couple of battles. Sometimes you don't want it to be this cerebral experience where you need to break out your sheets so that you know what all of the moves do. Like, it's. I think that's part of the reason I slowly, I veer, not veer away, but I do kind of avoid RPGs a little bit. Just because to sit down and play an RPG is you do have to commit time to that. So every once in a while, yeah, I want to put the game on and I want to catch some Pokemon, and that's it. And Nintendo doesn't care about ROMs. Can I get the TLDR? Listen, the TLDR is all of these lawsuits and everything they've ever done to defend their IPs seems to be more about imagery IP property than it does about the actual ROMs. But if you go back and you check the VODs, you'll be able to watch it later, or the upload on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to click that subscribe button. I don't know. I don't actually have that whole shtick planned out, so I don't know what that's supposed to be. All right. So we're gonna call it for today. Yes, I know it's a little bit early and we started a little bit late, but that's okay. That sort of thing happens sometimes. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and for hanging out and for being part of the conversation at the beginning of the new year. I just got home. Call me lame, but for this new Pokemon game, I want more character customization option, more clothing styles, hairstyle. I'd like that. I like that. Don't forget to click that notification bell. I don't know. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping in and for hanging out and being part of the conversation. It is always a blast to have you here. 2018 was 2018, but as far as this show goes, it was fantastic to start it, since it did start last year, and to have it grow and for people to actually seem like they're kind of interested in it. So thank you guys for that. I hope 2019 is bigger and better. When we get the computer, we'll be at 60 frames per second. I can give you a little preview as to what's coming up. Now that I have the other mixer set up, I can set up the audio the way I need it to have guests call into the show or be on Discord and we chat and I can hear them. But my problem was that I would be able to hear them, but I can't also send that audio back out to you guys because then it would create a bad feedback loop. Now I have the ability to turn that off, so I'll be able to hear them, but you won't get your sound blasted like an old audio card from a PC. But yeah, so that's something that I eventually do want to get set up so that we can start taking special guests, maybe subscriber questions. So if when we get that going, I'll give you a heads up, and that'll give you plenty of time to crack your piggy banks and hit the subscribe. And if you've got Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime account so you get a free month of subscription. Just enough for you to ask a question, and then that's it. But I will let you guys go for now. We'll get into all of that stuff as it starts happening. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing. Hold on, I got a button for this now. Have an amazing night, and I will see you guys next time.